Hello and welcome to Blackwater D&D, where we're not playing main campaign, we're playing an interim campaign. It's very, very exciting. I can't tell you how excited I am for all of it. It's wild, it's crazy. We've got some crazy guests, but I'm going to pass it over to Em before I go too mental, because
Holy bananas, everyone. We are so excited to be here. It feels so nice to be back in the Monday time slot, doing some D&D with some of my bestest friends. This is so amazing, bringing together some fantastic creators for this interim campaign. I'm going to go around and these wonderful people who you might not have seen on our main campaign stuff are going to introduce themselves, and then we're going to do some announcements, and then we're going to play some fucking Dungeons and Dragons. Welcoming back both of these lovely humans, but now in an actual player setting rather than a DM setting. Bam! Welcome back, darling.
What is up, guys? First off, so very pumped to be here. Absolutely love the folks over here at Blackwater. We have been, our journeys artistically have been linked for a couple years now, and I just got to say, as far as I never get the chance to do this, but when they asked, I had to jump. I am Bam. Brandon Allen McClanahan is my full name, and I'm an actor out here in Las Vegas. I am also the Dungeon Master for We D&D, a cannabis-positive actual play that plays every Tuesday at 8 p.m. over
one
at
of the best
Twitch.
shows on the internet, Bam.
So
hands down. Get out of here.
You guys are amazing. But yeah, we're over at ArtHardStudios at twitch.tv/ArtHardStudios, as well as YouTube. We did just finish our first chapter of the Ganjaria campaign, A World of My Creation, where magic comes from a little bit of ganja. So again, just so very pumped to be here. Cannot wait to play with these incredible people. So thanks so much for having me.
Amazing, and welcome back, Roz.
Hello, everybody. I'm Roz, or Rosilla on Twitch, but I am also the Dungeon Master for our flagship show on Questline called Ready to Roll. And Ready to Roll, you can find us on YouTube. We are nearing the end of season 1. It's getting really exciting, and those episodes are all available online. And I am so excited to play with Blackwater, who came into our studio a little while ago, and hoping to collaborate more and do fun things together. This is so exciting.
Amazing. Thank you both so much for being here. We are also very excited to be joined by a couple other wonderful people for this campaign. We are going to be welcoming Mendarii, Faye, to our table next week, playing a character that will be very near and dear to my heart, as you will see. And we just got the confirmation today that Tim is going to be coming to guest with us as a player. There's too much magic at one table. I'm so excited.
That's
Tim will
going
be
good.
joining us in a couple weeks. So I'm going to jump into some announcements here, and then we're going to play some fucking Dungeons and Dragons. So a big thank you to our sponsors, Legendcraft, a nerdy woodworking company from Calgary. Check them out, and if anything tickles your fancy, enter the code Blackwater at checkout for a discount. We are also proud to be sponsored by Sirenscape, because epic games require epic sound. We also have some fantastic partners. The first up is Legend Keeper. This is the ultimate world building tool created by DMs for DMs. You can use it to create comprehensive wikis and atlases, share specific pieces with your players with its private by default nature, and allow for real-time collaboration. There are no limits on storage with its easy-to-use interface. They are a small group of creators from both Canada and the US that are constantly upgrading and rolling out new features. Type !Legend Keeper in the chat for more info. Love as always to our campaign artist, Tiana Kovacevic, who you can find at miss._marts on Instagram. Tiana sent me all of the art proofs for campaign 2 today.
I've seen them too. They're so good.
I'm over the moon about them. We are also very excited that we have a brand new dice sponsor for campaign 2. We dropped it in our campaign wrap up on Saturday night, but I will do the official announcement in a couple weeks, so stay tuned for that. We have merch. We have a Discord, which is one of the bestest places on the internet. We also have a finely curated YouTube, so please head on over there and check out our entire campaign 1 in its completion, and this wonderful episode will be up there too, probably in a couple days. A big thank you to those of you who subscribe to us. Don't forget to re-up your subscriptions, as they do not roll over every month, because Twitch is lame like that. You also get one free Twitch sub with your Amazon Prime account, and if you choose to give it to us, well, boy howdy, thank you so much. That sounds so great for us. We're also just really thankful to have you all here, coming to hang out in the chat week after week and supporting us for a brand new campaign that is running in a 5-part miniseries. We're very, very, very excited about this. I have been chomping at the bit to play this campaign, and I know Adam's been chomping at the bit to get into the DM seat on a Monday night, so it's a good time. We, as you know, this is the Edge of all things. This is our 5-part miniseries. As I was saying, you can type !Edge for a little bit more information. Yeah. pull your minds out of the gutters, you 12-year-olds. We are going to be back on Wednesday with the Rage Saga, which is 3 Minotaur Barbarians just trying to get a job done. Adam back in the DM seat with myself and Cody and Eric as we continue traversing through hell, just trying to get our souls back. It's going to be a great time.
Real important about that campaign. Bam, M's character introduced a marijuana plant to hell for the first time ever. So now hell has growing marijuana.
I know.
Yes.
It's all for you.
Delightful weed
to
help the harrowed souls of hell.
We will be back on Saturday for world building. It will either be myself or Adam in the seat doing some wonderful world building things as always. And then we will be back again, obviously, next Monday with more of this beautiful stuff. So we do not have an intro tonight because that's going to be coming next week because I ran out of time.
I have an intro because I'm going to be calling these episodes. And I've gone real esoteric with this shit. So episode 1 is titled The Calm. Amazing. And I'm going to start each episode with a verse. A quiet notion finds you, a calm and creeping dread, a knowledge of what's coming, the snap of fate's thin thread. The foolish try and fight it and stand against the tide. The world ends not with a whisper, but a calm and crushing sigh. Welcome to episode 1 of At the Edge of All Things. The Calm.
Oh my gosh. Also, thank you, Substances Used for the Raid. Thank you.
Welcome to the world of Aldenvar. It has been 73 years since the invention of the airship changed the world, launching it into a technological revolution. Industry has boomed, technology has advanced, and the old power balances have shifted. We find ourselves in the Goldbrunnet skyport, a bustling compound that serves as both a military base and as a port of call for incoming sky vessels. We watch as an Archon-class vessel lifts up, huge and imposing. The Eltheria drifts towards Diametros, the nearby city, casting a shadow on the shipyard below, where the real work gets done. Mechanics and engineers move busily, building, repairs, outfitting, Kestrel-class ships, small compact fighters, hanging from a harness with a welding wand in hand against a kestrel named the Darling. Who do we see?
Yeah, so you see in a harness looking completely comfortable. It is so perilous the way A is hanging in this harness without a care in the world. You see an Air Genasi femme-presenting person. You see long silver hair in braids, too many braids that are just kind of knotted together, big long ears, and she is covered in oil and soot and looks so happy to be doing this work. You see tool belts full of every tool imaginable. You see chrome goggles up upon her head, and this is exactly the place where Smoke is supposed to be, fixing a ship. The thing that she loves so much to do. There is some form of lit smoke or cigarette out of her mouth that is just hanging precariously there, and you see the fire alight under A's goggles as she works away on the ship.
As you sort of solder together a piece, kind of putting back together a panel, you hear from below you, "Smoke! I think we need to talk."
Shit.
You look down and you see a burly stone Genasi that you know to be Pewter, the head mechanic of this particular warehouse.
Right, and if I know if Pewter's calling me, then he has probably discovered something. So I go, yeah, Pewter, just a second. And then I finish up what I'm doing because I'm never going to leave a job unfinished and perfect. And I very, very deftly, with just like 1, 2, 3 tugs, lower myself down to the ground.
Yep. So you land and you see arms
and I
crossed.
take off my goggles.
Very muscular. Right then. What is this? And he holds a whirring device with little mechanical arms and cogs that are moving, and you recognize it as something that you've created.
Isn't it wonderful? I had some spare time and I was tinkering with something and then work called. So obviously I had to go put it down to go do my job.
I'll no lie, it's very impressive, but...
Thank you. Thank you so much. It means so much to me to know that you think it's impressive.
When you put it down, you happen to put it down inside the shine. And that ship flies in like an hour. So had the shine launched with this in it, it would have flown, not to traditional specs.
Oh. And a DM question. Yeah. Was I commissioned to put that thing in there?
No, this is one of the things that you were kind of like, I wonder what this would do. This is like very much just sort of like, hey, what will happen?
Absolutely. Well, Pewter, I have been really thinking about ways to improve efficiency and to make the machines fly faster. And I have been working so hard on some of these prototype devices, and it was just a small one. So I thought it would be a good thing to test it out.
You have so much potential.
Oh, here we go.
But you're too chaotic. You gotta play by the book for now.
Pewter, I'm the best mechanic here. You know that.
I don't disagree, but you gotta find yourself in a position where you can make those calls.
Yeah, well, maybe if you'd let me advance, maybe if you'd let me move up the ladder a bit, maybe that could happen. But no, nobody does that for me.
Too much of a wild card. I gotta see that you're responsible before I can let you move up the ladder. Please.
Was it responsible of me to get the whole ship crew, like everything flying on the deadline that you wanted it to?
Smoke, you and I both know that I've turned a blind eye to some of your extracurricular activities because I respect you as a mechanic, because you're very good.
Thank you.
But if you want to move up, you got to show me that you're ready. As he puts his arm or his hand out onto your shoulder, Smoke, you hear a distant boom and a far-off panicked scream. But we crane back in time a little bit and up past the swaying tower docks, up past the workers bustling around upon the heights where the ships come and go, as the Regent-class airship, the 7-pipped side, a warship-sized vessel, finalizes the docking process. Waiting at the jetty, clipboard in hand, tapping their foot impatiently, Roz, who do we see?
You see Burgundy, who they would of course be expecting, as she is in charge of most of the administration here. She's half-orc, and her teeth are just kind of like just a little bit sticking up as she kind of like gently smiles, looking that things are in order. She's got pretty light green skin and then dark brown hair, and it's kind of all shaved on the side and then tied back in a really firm, efficient bun. There is not a single hair loose, and the shave on the sides is crisp and clean, like it's probably cleaned up every day. And her uniform is extremely crisp. Everybody else here would be wearing the same colors. We're going this dark red and blue with white trim and gold buttons. And everybody else's might be a little bit faded. Smoke is very dirty. Burgundy is not. Everything is very clean. She does it every night. It's all crisp. And of course she's got all of her folders and books and folios with her because she's ready to talk business.
Amazing. So you watch as Captain Luke Lucky, late and delinquent on payments, saunters down the gangplank toward you. Well. Burgundy, ain't you a sight for sore eyes?
Luke, you're fucking late again.
Well, you know me. I like to make my own time.
Luckily, I put you in as late. So you're right on time on the schedule, mister.
Well, See, that's why I like you, Berg, is you can accommodate my eccentric side.
You know it's gonna come with a fee, though, right?
Berg, baby, you're killing me. Come now. I can't afford that. You know, it's hard running the ship out here.
Can't afford anyone to pay attention either. Huh?
We're barely getting by out here. The 7-sided pip's hardly holding together. He points, and you see that it's got a new varnish. It's like it's been like freshly painted, and it's really nice looking.
You're gonna spend some money here?
Listen, let me make my trades, and I'll be sure to make sure all my outstanding debts are paid. Just give me a little pass on this one, Berg.
Luke, you're gonna make sure to treat everybody here right?
Yeah, of course.
And you're not gonna mess with anybody?
No, of course not. Last time was an oddity.
And you're gonna play all my crew here fair?
Absolutely 100%.
Because you know what happens if you don't, right?
You see, at that, he does kind of like hesitate for a moment. Yeah, no, I know. Thank you for your patience. That's why you're my number one.
So much better to be in trouble with me.
As you say this, up here upon the tower tops, you see as a Kestrel-class ship careens towards the docks, narrowly avoiding crashing into the docks themselves, a large explosion ripping through the side of it. You watch as it roars past toward the forest. But we wind back again a little bit. Across the tower docks, something flies into port. To call it an airship would be taking liberties, as this barely held together hunk of wood, rope, and magical artifice limps into dock. On its hull, in faded lettering, is written the Chimera, and at the helm, standing as proudly as a captain upon the most noble of airships, bam, who do we see?
You see standing before you the great smuggler, Shren Oldbuck. He stands about 4 foot 4 inches, but his hat would give him an extra 4, and he uses it. He draws on a faint, strange, magical wooden pipe as he soars through the air. His face is covered with scars, his chest with blue, translucent tattoos of magic. He's got a long, foot-length, kind of a goon coat with no sleeves. He's got his red hair, red beard that sticks out, kind of wild in appearance, dubious at best, and his right eye is gashed out. There's 3 claw marks over his eye, and where his eye once stood, there's now a platinum eye that shines with strange yellow magic. He draws on his pipe, kind of looking around. He knows he's probably aroused some suspicion, but Shren's good at getting out of a mess.
Now, as you approach the dock, we're going to have the first roll of the night. I need you to roll me a flat D20 to determine which customs agent is at your dock.
All right. That's a 2, baby.
Okay. That's what everyone does when they approach any form of border, right? Is what customs agent do you get?
Which one do I get there?
A natural 1 would have been very bad. A natural 2 isn't great. You look and you kind of swear quietly to yourself as you see Groltz, a custom agent who's willing to let things go, but at a fairly steep price. You know his price, 200 gold pieces. And the first step will be smooth sailing for you if you are willing to part with that amount of gold.
So Shren turns around and there's a couple boxes layered in his ship, and he pushes a few aside to secret compartments, and he pulls out the one labeled Groltz. He tips his hat a little bit, and you hear a strange shuffling as if there's something underneath his hat, and he whistles. And here comes Fidget, his small homunculus servant, a black gunmetal steel gray, blue steel cat with bat wings that just soars from the top area of his ship. You see black plumes of smoke chugging out all around it because Mira's a good old gal, but it takes a bit to keep her going. He flies down and turn around with the box and look up. Hey there, Groltz. Didn't expect to see you today. Thought you'd be off with the family, huh? How you been?
Not today. Shren, not today. Tell me, everything's above board here? You're bringing in regular goods? Not, I know you to be a very upstanding citizen, so...
Thank you for saying it, sir. No, surely. I mean, you can see about, I've got a couple boxes here, and I kind of rub off that his name is written on one of them, like, oh, shit, kind of give it a rub off. Oh, you're free to check my goods. I'm a good, upstanding citizen, despite appearances.
He does a cursory look, having seen you rub the name. He does kind of a cursory, like, glancing at a few barrels. It doesn't take him much time to come back and surreptitiously glance inside the box with his name on it. What does he see inside?
Absolutely normal legal cargo.
Okay.
So just some ding bits and widgets to bring to some of the other mechanics in the area, and a bunch of just like tools and the like. Because you are the DM, I can't lie to you. The secret is I have a bag of holding in a bag in my hat where the real goods are stored.
Okay. Love that. He, all right, yeah. He looks at you, cocks an eyebrow. So the usual fee, yeah? The usual docking fee as everybody pays because we are both upstanding citizens.
And who could argue, sir? And I'm going to go ahead and use it because what the heck, I have it.
Yeah.
I go, I was thinking about that. And I blow 3 charges of that magic smoke.
Just 3?
Wait, 6 is the one where they don't know it happened, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's a 6. So I use all 6 charges. This is my ace in the hole. I'm trying to save 200 gold. And,
absolutely.
I got to keep Mira running. So I take a big magical puff on my pipe and a little cloud of smoke blasts out. And I attempt to cast Charm Person on him.
Amazing. What is your spell save DC?
It is... spells... 15.
Okay. You watch as the smoke kind of fades up into his mouth and nostrils, and he looks at you and goes... Sorry, what were you saying?
Remember, we was playing that card game the other day, and I took your debts, and you said, I could get you back. I was thinking, maybe we could just call it even here, huh? You let me stop here, get Mira a little tension, maybe have a poke around, see my friend. And I almost slip and say the chef, but then I'm like, see some friends about some things, and I'll be out of here before there's any trouble at all, friend. Give him a little pat on. Well, I guess I'm super short, so I give him a pat on like the hip.
Well, for a friend such as yourself, I can't see a problem with that. Pleasure doing business, and he puts out a hand.
The pleasure's mine, friend. The pleasure's mine.
As you shake hands and you kind of wander down, you kind of again swear to yourself as you look over at the adjacent, also open dock where Darnie Pike, a friend or as close a friend as you have, Darnie owes you big time. If you'd pulled in there, it would have been free, clear sailing. You're like, oh.
I take a mental note, like, Pike works there on this day, just in case I ever need that.
Yeah, absolutely. So you get off the ship, offloading the contraband being very easy for you, given that you have a bag of holding hidden within your hat. And it is a mere thing to get to the chef. As you kind of walk through, you open into the kitchen, busy sounds, people cooking and chopping, but in amongst them you see a towering 7.5 foot tall orc with a massive, almost like a buster sword, but in the form of a cleaver. And he looks over and he goes, well, if it isn't Shren, my favorite pilot, tell me, got an greet old friend in the back room. And he kind of leads you into this back area, and he closes the door and he leans forward and he goes, did you get it?
Let me show you an old magic trick I learned back home. But this time, it ain't no rabbit. I pull my hat off, pull the bag of holding out, and dump all the exotic meats that I've smuggled in for him.
Interestingly enough, includes
a little bit of rabbit.
Algiamera, which are the like magical rabbits that are quite contraband, but really, really high protein and have this like kind of magical filling effect. And Chef kind of looks over it, whistles through his teeth, and he goes, "You always do deliver. Well, I guess it's my turn." He pulls out a pouch and drops it on the counter, and you deftly kind of swoop it into your hand, and with the skills known only to a professional smuggler, you quickly count out with your fingers in the bag 300 gold pieces.
Toss it up in the air, and Fidget jumps up and catches it.
Amazing.
Always a pleasure doing business with you, Chef.
As you shake hands with Chef, the windows rattle as something zooms overhead, a ship flying dangerously low, as you hear panic erupting from outside. But we're going to bring it back one last time. Lastly, we head outside the walls of the compound, out into the trees and the wild places that surround this bustling skyport. In a clearing, beneath soft rays of light that peek through the tree, painting the ground with a dappled pattern of light and dark, sits a figure made of metal. In their hand, they hold a small daisy, staring with emotionless curiosity. They look up at their companion, who leans against a tree, a long gun strapped to their back. "Do you think the biologicals hate us, Sentry 8? The seated one asks. The standing one looks over, and Cody, who do we see?
You see, draped in dark leathers, a machine. Every bit of metal that is exposed is patinaed and covered in a light moss. Where you expect to see eyes, instead you see opaque glass orbs, void of any detail except a light lavender glow. On their back, a scoped rifle, immaculate, taken care of far better than they are. I am designated S8. Some organics call me Onyx. I don't think they think of us.
Why do you think that?
They have no reason to. We
Sentry
fill a
8.
purpose. Nothing more.
That is true. Speaking of purpose, Sentry 8, why did you bring me out here?
A test.
A test? Is this a part of a new directive?
No.
I do not understand.
And that is part of the problem.
Am I a problem, Sentry 8?
No.
Should I inform a mechanic that I am malfunctioning?
No. You're working perfectly.
Should I inform a mechanic that you are malfunctioning?
No.
Onyx would take the rifle off the back and rack around.
The Sentry 3 holds up the daisy to you. I believe the biologicals would call this pretty. I think you should have it.
Okay.
Noticing you cock the round, Sentry 3 looks at you. Is there an enemy nearby? should I prepare for battle?
No, it's okay. Better to be prepared, though.
Very astute.
I'll take the flower, and I'll place it in my, where your cloak sort of couples together. I'll place it inside of the same sort of opening.
Do you lift your gun again?
No.
As Sentry 3 kind of looks at you a little confused, but you see that confusion is... You're the only person probably that could recognize this confusion, because it's like it's not a facial movement. It's a light. It's like a speckling in the lights of their eyes that just slightly different, almost imperceptible. But for someone like you, you're different. You can see that light change, and you see that brief light of confusion fade as programming resets. And Sentry 3 stands up. And as they do, you hear a roar and the sound of exploding wood as a ship barrels through the treetops, disturbing the brief sense of peace you had once found here. A hollow boom and the flapping of distant wings as the ship crashes into the side of the mountain, Storm Peak. Sentry 3 looks at you, still no emotion on their metal face.
Immediately as the ship goes over, Onyx has scoped in and is looking for, like, as it was flying by, was like looking at the ship. I want to see if there was like a pilot or something.
Kind of look up, looking at the ship, but you quickly lose it in the tree line as it kind of crashes quite far away.
Okay.
And you hear Sentry 3 say, "I believe it would be best if we return. We may be needed for retrieval of goods." And they gesture towards where the distant crash likely lays. Come. And they sort of just take off towards the city. So we're going to kind of do a weird thing here.
I love weird, Adam.
We're going to coalesce as each of you have experienced a moment of this ship crashing, something of an unprecedented moment in this place. It very rarely happens. And you find yourselves, with the exception of Shren, Shren's nearby, because it's always good to keep an ear out. But Smoke, you are directed by Pewter about 30 minutes later, after the kind of panic has calmed down. You are told that you have been requested at headquarters. Berg, you go to headquarters because it's just your job. You head there to like find out. You're there about 5 minutes after you. It takes you that amount of time just to get there. Onyx, you head towards the Golem Yard, the area of the skyport where they contain non-working Warforged. But as you head in, you see Onyx. Sorry, you see Smoke walking toward the headquarters. And Smoke, Pewter didn't say you couldn't take a Warforged to help with whatever.
He absolutely did not say I couldn't take a Warforged, albeit my favorite one, with me. I would, as I saw Onyx walking in, I would just kind of sidle up again alongside of them.
As you step into the Golem Yard, you hear the disconcerting sound of about 150 heads look towards you and quietly say, "Directive?"
Sentry
the one head in this place that doesn't turn with the exact uniformity is Sentry 8.
To the rest of them, I go, "I have a request for Sentry 8.
They all
please."
stand down.
And I would just wait for Onyx to come over.
Directive, Doc?
It's nice to see you, my friend.
It's Good
How
to
are
see
you?
you. Fine.
Do you want to come on an adventure?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. Do you need anything fixed up before you go?
I think everything's working. I'll be fine. Thank you.
How do you like the new stuff I installed? Is it good?
It's working perfectly. No complaints.
Okay. Good. Let me know if you need anything fixed. There was a couple. I'm really excited about some of the changes that we can make to your rifle as well as your scope technology and as well as your eye socket. So let me know if there's anything I can do. Okay.
Yes. Absolutely.
Shren, you kind of lurking around, watch as a mechanic and a sentry leave the golem yard, heading towards headquarters. And you recognize this mechanic. You know this mechanic well enough. And you know that anything this mechanic's involved in often turns out quite interesting.
Well, I love interesting things. So I'm going to say I wouldn't rush right up right away. I'd still keep a friendly distance. Again, like Shren is so obviously like a dubious looking person. So in this case, just to blend in with the crowd a little bit better, I'm going to go ahead and utilize disguise self.
Amazing.
I just kind of wave my hand over my face and I look like just another, engineer, another grease monkey from around the pit, and just kind of keep my eye and see what's going on, if there's coin to be made.
Amazing. We're going to cut to headquarters, where Roz is in a meeting with Ruby, a fire Genasi. Sorry, Roz. Berg, you struggle a little bit with Ruby because Ruby is a trust fund kid. They are in their position because they are related to a powerful Genasi family. You know that like the power, kind of the old dynasties, the rich families, they're all elemental. The kingdom that you live within is ruled by a 4-part monarchy, which is called, and I have this information in front of me because I'm a prepared DM. I don't know what you're talking about.
A fantastically prepared
You
world
prepared for
builder
everything.
I prepared for so much.
Also, a big thank you to our community for coming on and world building with Adam. That's so amazing. Thank you so much,
deeply sad
y'all.
that I did, in fact, shut the world info doc like a dum-dum.
No.
You know that they are called the Tetrad Monarchs. There's the Ruby Crown, the Sapphire Crown, the Emerald Crown, and the Diamond Crown. Being called Ruby is like being called Princess. Like, it's so gaudy. And you know that Ruby is related to the Ifrit Spark, who is one of the head of the Steam Guard, which is the military organization that you smoke and technically the Sentries are a part of. It's run by an Ifrit and a Marid, Spark, and Pond. And they kind of are rivals that work together because they want that military complex to stay within the hands of the elemental dynasties. So Ruby is hella connected.
But also kind of a, pain in my butt.
Yeah, 100%. And as Ruby talks to Berg, I need everyone else to take their headphones out. Yeah. Big secret.
It's been like 5 minutes, rude.
Adam.
Yes. Berg, Ruby leans over to you. You know the two big events that are coming up. You know that the launching of hey, I forgot another name. You know that the launching of the Endolu, which is the first and only throne class airship, it's essentially the size of a small city, is being launched today. And you also know that the Iron Will are out doing something important. And not a lot of people know what that is. Everyone knows that they're like missing because they're not at the launch of the Endolu. And that's why it's strange that they're not there. So everyone is kind of like, oh, they must be doing something important.
And I know that's this like heroic level adventure party.
You know, the Iron Wheel are like the heroes of the world. They've saved the world like 6 times. They are a big deal. And you know that there was a shipment coming today that was going to be portaled to the Iron Wheel from this ship, from the skyport. And Ruby leans over and says, I'm guessing you don't need, I'm feeling like you can fill in the dots. I've called you in. Well, no, you got here before I could call you in. I was going to call you in. A ship's gone down. We were expecting a delivery. I think you can... Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah,
so,
Ruby. Do you have something to add that I don't know?
I've called together a team. And... Oh. you hear, oh, and here they are.
Ruby, who selected this team from my staff?
Well, I did, from recommendations of others, of course, as Ruby's assistant lets in Smoke and weirdly a sentry.
Do I recognize that it's 8? I only know them all as sentries.
You would have to ask for its designation. Like,
okay.
You can't by sight recognize sentries because they all essentially look the same.
And nothing's hit me that 8 stands out yet.
No.
As we were walking like towards where we're going, Onyx would like robot out basically, like sort of a more like relaxed walk alongside Smoke, maybe sort of like mirroring the sort of a more organic gait, like turns very stiff as like walking in amongst other people.
One oddity you do notice, Berg, is a little daisy stuck at the fastening clasp of this sentry's cloak.
Fuck.
Before we would get to the door, like before we were outside, would I have noticed that Shren was like peeping around, or would I have?
Shren, make a stealth check, and Smoke make a perception check.
Oh boy, howdy!
It's our own party, everybody.
Yeah, there it is.
Can I give the help action to Smoke, as I am proficient in perception.
I would say you can also make a perception check.
I am also disguised self right now.
True.
Oh.
I will say
disadvantage.
If they do notice you, they'll not immediately know it's you, Shren. They'll be like, oh, that's weird. A dude's following. 22?
Perception is going to be 19 for
19?
me.
Shren, what was your stealth?
19.
Okay, so I will say, Smoke, you're a little distracted because like a lot of shit's happening right now.
I'm so excited that things went boom.
You do see one mechanic is kind of like on the same path as you, but you kind of pass it off as like maybe another member of the team. But Onyx, you do track that like this person is trying to not be seen by you, but does look just like a mechanic. Like you don't recognize this person at all. And they don't seem to have like any real ill intent. Maybe just a Snoopy Susan kind of vibe.
As we're on the outside, I would lean over to Onyx and be like, I know you've got some like new stuff going on, and that's okay. And I want you to know I got your back. And however you want to play this, I got you, okay? Me and Ember, we got you.
Thank you. I think for now,
Of course.
probably best to be normal.
Sentry 8. Got it.
Importantly, Smoke, you know the Ember, your very close friend, more or less a sister. You know that Ember is currently upon the Eltheria, which is oddly flying towards Dimetros, which is strange because the whole point of this shipyard is to serve Dimetros. It's like a 45-minute carriage from the Goldbrunei ship, Skyport, to Dimetros.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird that they would send a ship out there. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
I
feel like I would have asked her that, why she was going or why she got scoped to go, and she would have been like, I don't know.
Your answer was like, the answer you got was, it's my job. Like,
yeah.
Like, I didn't really have a choice. But you know that this is an Archon class ship, which is the largest ship class so far. But you know that they're launching a Throne class ship very soon, the Andolu. But you know the Archons are huge ships, massive carriers that are able to transport massive amounts of troops, often act as like carriers for Kestrel class ships. So they'll have like little flight decks on top. Like, they're massive ships. So it's weird that this ship is landing in. Oh no, we missed a dono. Hada RHG. Thank you so much for the dono. We'll hopefully
Oh my
see that
gosh.
soon.
Thank you so much, Hatter. Thank you so much for that very generous dono. So appreciated, my friend. Thank you so much. Mwah.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you very much. Amazing. We find ourselves in the office of Ruby, Smoke, Onyx, Berg, and surreptitiously listening nearby, Shren. Ruby kind of cocks an eyebrow at Onyx.
Seeing that immediately, I would be like, Sentry 8 is one I have worked with in the past, and I know they're all the same. But sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of backup, you know?
Oh, yes, of course. Berg, make an insight check.
Do you want me to make a deception check?
No, this is an insight for you.
Oh, okay. Berg making insight?
It's only an 11.
Ruby is not hard to read. You immediately get the sense that Ruby probably delegated the task where she like, I picked a team is kind of bullshit. You get the sense that she was like, go get a team for me. So she looks at Smoke and looks at Onyx and just assumes this is the team that has been assembled. And yeah, so you're
okay. Yep. Yeah.
You're kind of like, I'm onto you.
I will work very hard to not give anything away to her, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
But just fall into line in terms of wait until I have information I need to do something else.
Amazing. So Ruby slides a piece of parchment over to you, Berg. And Berg, I've sent via Slack. You see on top of the parchment the Sparrowhawk crew manifest. Would you share this with the rest of the team, or would you kind of keep this to yourself?
Adam, are you sending sneaky notes in session 1?
I don't know.
Adam's passing notes in
so
class.
Guys, Adam's a cool DM. Get out of here. Adam's a cool DM.
Didn't bring enough to share.
Do I know before I decide if I'm going to share? Do we know? Has anybody heard of the Sparrowhawk before? Do I recognize it?
One of you does recognize the name Sparrowhawk, but they're not in the room.
Okay, so I haven't heard of this yet.
No, you also like. Do you read the name Sparrowhawk out loud?
I will turn to the crew that's been assigned with me to this, and I'll be like, Who's heard of the Sparrowhawk?
Shren, you immediately are like, oh, that's like a really fast smuggler ship, like one of the best.
Would I have worked on this shift at all, or like would I have
No.
done any tricking out for anything?
You've
No.
never heard of the Sparrowhawk.
And that's
Shren, you know-
surprising.
Well, importantly, you don't know this, but Shren, you know that the Sparrowhawk has never visited this shipyard. You know that it almost exclusively flies out of Astaris, which is the capital.
All right. Well, Shren's waiting on his opportunity, and this sounds like it. So he kind of, because I've always wanted to say this, I go, well.
Well.
The Sparrowhawk, eh?
You
I
see
haven't heard that name in a
Ruby.
long time.
Ruby noticeably jumps and does a little like squeak. She's like, "Oh."
So Shren is pretending to be a mechanic, right?
Yes.
I would
But-
absolutely know that Shren is not a mechanic. I would know every mechanic on the dock.
Yeah, probably.
And I say nothing. I let
Cool.
it happen.
You must be our last crewmate. I will forgive the tardiness.
Yeah, we
you've-
work really well together, so I thought I would ask another one to come along. Always good to have two mechanics. Two eyes better than one, right?
That's
Great.
what
I
I've
get an
always heard.
insight
Yes.
check, Smoke.
100% please do. Smoke, make a deception check.
Absolutely.
As a robot with probably pretty good memory, I think I would also know who the would I know who the mechanics are?
I would say not as much as
Not
Smoke,
as much?
just
Okay.
because like your interactions with mechanics tend to be with Smoke, because
Ooh.
you have a bit of a
Ooh,
fear that if
buddy.
you interact with the mechanics too much, they'll be like, "Hey, wait a minute!"
Good
like
point.
you have like a little like, "Oh, maybe I should keep my distance."
That's a 21 on my deception.
What was your
Even
insight,
I
Mike?
believe her. Yeah, we go way back. I've
We
always
go
worked with
way
it.
back.
You're like,
I
oh,
rolled
yeah.
very well.
it beats my 14.
Yeah.
And if
You,
I know Smoke, I don't know all the mechanics.
Yes, you would know.
But
Smoke.
I know-
you know Smoke.
She's a pain in my ass, but she's fucking awesome. So
Gets
I'm
the
just
job
like,
done.
I'm just like, that kid vouches for that guy, and then I don't fucking care.
Okay. Yeah. So you're holding the crew manifest. Do you share it?
Yeah, I do actually. I think the more information is better. You know, I think everybody should learn more, be more into it.
Well, everyone
and
can
so
check
I'm
the
gonna-
group Slack.
Oh,
Slack.
buddy.
That is the crew manifest.
And I actually am gonna ask this group as I pass it around. Anyone recognize anyone?
Do I
Has anybody
recognize
worked with the
anybody on
captain?
list?
Oh, I can't read this.
Zoom in.
No,
Okay,
it's
so we
the
got Captain-
squigglies.
Hey,
Oh,
Adam,
yeah.
can you post it in the Discord for all of our wonderful
I
friends in Discord to
sure
see?
10.
You can post it in the general, and I'll move it over to its own channel when we manage it. So we've got Captain Arden Clore, Quartermaster Tarleia Sharon, Naja Amara, Grout Bulto, Ronder Breakbeard.
I can also read through them if you need.
Yeah, I'm just reading. here, so
General.
go for it.
I'm being technologically challenged. One sec.
Does Shren have the same height as a halfling in this disguise form?
Yes.
Yes, this
Okay.
guy self cannot.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Just to
doesn't
make
alter
like,
your height?
Appearance.
You
Come
didn't
join
put
our
on some
Discord.
stilts. You don't have a
Yeah, if you're not
Okay.
already in the Discord, please come join it.
Just a really
Yeah, see-
big forehead to mask the hat.
Yeah, just whoop, yep. I just had a big head. Smoke will
yeah.
tell you.
So Captain Arden Claw, Quartermaster Talea Xiang, Nadia Amara, Gront Bulto, Rhonda Breakbeard, Talus Breck, Doman Breck, and Fodner Ashbrow.
Those are some
Um,
names.
Those are some
You-
names.
Fodner Ashbrow will break your heart, bro.
Shren, you recognize Captain Claw by reputation.
Yeah.
You're like one of the best smugglers, made the Kestrel run in under 8 par
We got a parsec.
fields. like incredible smuggler, and it's
I audibly go,
yeah,
sorry,
yeah, 100%,
sorry,
like big time hero. But it's
Wow.
weird that this like fucking stuffy bureaucrat would have the crew manifest for the Sparrowhawk. It's like it just doesn't sit right with you. It just a smuggling team of this repute. Like they're not pirates. They're not like they're just really good smugglers, but they probably wouldn't work.
Oh, sorry, you shorted out there for a sec, Adam.
My internet connection because I did have a little
You
dongle.
are blooping out.
You're back.
Still
no.
blooping out?
No, you're back.
Oh, you're back.
Now you're back.
Oh no, I'm seeing some delay though. You would guess that they like these sort of people wouldn't work for the Steam Guard. It's unusual that they would work for the Steam Guard.
So yeah, continue kind of like, or again, I'm gonna keep the disguise. Like, so it's like, even if I can tell that a couple of them are kind of on to me, but I say,
Smoke is watching this wonderful new mechanic like a hawk. Like absolutely, like Smoke is not tall. Smoke is maybe like 5'3", 5'4", and is just like absolutely just like coming over and just like, what do you see there, mechanic?
oh, Captain, and I have to look up at you. Captain Claw is said to be, one of the best getters of things in these areas. Could I mean, where did you even get this?
Ruby looks at Berg. They were delivering the item that was to be sent to the Iron Wheel, as you know. And you all recognize the name, the Iron Wheel. They are like the heroes of the world. They have saved the world like 6 times. Immensely powerful people who are like do-gooders.
So
Real
like
Power
Blackwater
Ranger
is
vibe.
what I'm hearing?
Yeah, kind of Blackwater vibe.
Yeah, we love that.
And Ruby kind of like looks at you knowingly, Berg. I thought a team of such wonderful reputation that I, of course, personally selected, led by you, of course, Burgundy, because, the information that you hold is important for the mission, but, trusted ears only kind of vibes. But we need someone to go and find the wreckage, retrieve the item.
I think we have everything we need, Ruby.
Great. Go get them. Go get the item.
Yes.
Very important.
Yes, it.
Who has a passive insight of like higher than 14?
Well, let me take a look.
Me?
I'm just at 14.
I have 15.
Berg, yours is at 14?
Yeah.
Berg and Onyx.
9.
Yeah, mine is 14.
Great.
Mine is 14
One
as well.
Smoke. So Smoke and Berg, you see this like kind of restlessness. Because you match it, I'm going to give you this. You see a restlessness to Ruby. Berg, you notice it to be like quite uncharacteristic. Onyx, you have become adroit at not looking for facial cues, but for the light in people's eyes. And you see the dim light of the like beginnings of panic.
I hold that. I would not share that in this room.
Okay. So yeah, the room is yours. You've been bid good luck upon your journey. Berg, you have essentially been given the lead of this mission. So I leave it to you. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna turn around and look at these all.
Hi, Berg.
Hi, Smoke. Good to have you here. It's a little concerning, but I'm assuming that ship that just fell out of the fucking sky is on fire. So you're probably super excited.
Well, they got to send the best mechanic over. I might not be the top one, but I'm the best one. So
you're certainly there when everything explodes. That's true.
Absolutely. Wouldn't miss it.
I don't know everyone else. So, hey, short stuff. What you got?
Yeah.
Oh,
and we'll say this conversation is taking place outside of the office. Like,
how long has it been? How long have I been following them, Adam? At this point,
from like the start, or how long have you been in the office?
Just following them all together since I just got self.
15, 20 minutes.
Dope. I still got it. So.
Okay,
like,
cool.
We're walking and talking over towards the wreckage at this point. Like
You're walking towards the gates of the compound.
The gates of the compound.
Yeah.
Sorkin style hallways. We got shit to do.
Yeah, walk and talk.
So I started looking around. I'm like, well, to be real with you all, friends, I mean, maybe you noticed the voice. Maybe you noticed I don't actually look like any of these buggers in this entire place. But I have always heard where there's smoke, there's fire. And then I just kind of like let the disguised self like disappear on the face for a moment. And I kind of like wink out as Shren, like, what's up, Smoke? What you got yourself into?
I like go over and I just like give him a pat on the shoulder. I'm like, I thought it was you, buddy. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Doing real good.
Berg, he's on the level. He's great. Have you met Shren? He's awesome. He comes in. He knows what's up with. He's not as good as a mechanic as me, but
I never claimed to be.
I'll vouch for him.
But I'm better with guns.
Can we bring him? Can we bring him, please? Please.
I actually think that given what's happening, I think we need something a little unconventional, which, as I understand it, Shred is sort of your MO.
As unconventional as they come.
I just like give him a little one of these on the shoulder, and I'm like so happy to have him there.
I just kind of whistle for Fidget. He comes flying back over and kind of lands on my shoulder. So we're going to need ships for this one. I got my girl Mira. She's waiting in the port.
Yeah. I'm
going to look over.
Make an intelligence check, Shren.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, yeah. I'm done. I'm
going
to roll with real dice. 15 plus my raw intelligence plus 4, so 19.
With a 19, you watched you got outside in time to see the ship kind of careening down.
Yeah.
You get the sense a couple of things are in your way. Flying a ship, you need something to port to. Like if you're going to put it stationary, like ships need to keep flying. They're like sharks. They can't stop unless you can attach them to something. So you would have to hard land a ship in the forest at the side of a mountain. Best conditions, that is a fucking hard task. But with the mirror, it's almost impossible. Like you have a 94% chance of just shattering the mirror on the side of the mountain.
It almost broke just talking about it.
Even as you're as you're excitedly kind of prepping to go get the ship, you kind of think to yourself and you're like, the best option is probably by foot. There are some Kestrel class ships that might be able to hard land, but whether or not they can take off after that is also up for question.
Yeah, Mira can barely soft land.
Yeah, exactly. Mira can barely run into a dock.
Yes, yeah.
So yeah, that kind of occurs to you as you get excited to go get your ship.
Yeah. Well, I just have I have Fidget run back my earnings and
amazing.
Go and just basically have him go lock up and get my travel bag.
Love that. Amazing.
You would see that Smoke, as we're starting to walk out of this kind of small side satchel, takes out what looks like a long piece of metal that kind of has some jagged edges around it. And you watch as A just kind of moves armbands around it. And it's like she puts on a back harness. And you watch as just a small turret just sits up on her shoulder. I've been working on something. I'd love your opinion on it, Shren. We can walk and talk. We can walk.
Yeah. Start tinkering around. Yeah. Gunsmiths.
Well, don't touch it. Don't touch it.
No, you're right. I wasn't going to touch it. I wouldn't.
He says with a screwdriver in hand.
How rude of an artificer to touch another artificer's stuff?
Yeah.
Are we
amazing?
Where are we right now as we're walking?
You're getting to the gate. This is all taking place within the Gold Renee ship, skyport.
Okay, absolutely. I was wondering if we were just in the woods or anything.
Not yet.
Okay. Never mind.
Is there anything you would all like to do before you head out? You know this journey will probably take the rest of the day and like most like half of the next day, you get the sense you'll probably have to camp out outside the skyport.
Do I have a sending stone to Ember? I feel like I would.
You have a sending stone. So one of the big technological revolutions that happened at the kind of tail end of like honestly in the last like 2-3 years are universal sending stones. You have sending stones that can send to anyone on your contacts list, essentially. It's like cell phone.
Nice. So I know that Ember's pretty far away at the moment, and I just, as we're walking out, I go, "Hey, Emby, they've got me going out on something went kaboom on the mountain, so they're gonna obviously send me out to take a look. I'm going out with some friends. Berg's here. Everything's fine. Everything's safe. I miss you, and I'll see you soon. Okay, bye."
Amazing. You don't get a response back.
New stone. Who dis?
That would be very common though. Ember wouldn't respond.
You know
back
that
if
like
she's
she's
working. She doesn't.
or on duty.
You have
right
a
this
really
second.
good opportunity to make a wild accent and force.
No, I went
Never
and I was
do
like,
that to
wait,
Faye.
I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna touch
never do
someone
that to
else's
Faye.
character.
But I feel like that would be very common though. Ember
wouldn't
like as
reply back if she was working.
As you like send this message, you get a little like bloop thumb that like
she thumbs
like a
up
little
my
illusionary
message.
thumb
Okay, go ahead.
that bloops up from your sending stone. You know, importantly, these sending stones is for everyone. Just to like clarify, these sending stones are incapable of sending across the planes, unlike regular sending stones, which have a chance to do it and maybe fail. You know that these sending stones cannot, and they also have a pretty limited range.
I'm assuming for Onyx, it's like bit internal work and not.
You have essentially
thing.
like yeah. But you know that like you could potentially send to someone in Astaris, but like a city further away from that, it's like gonna be like in an elevator. Like it's real sketchy because essentially they've set up magical pylons to convey these messages, and the technology is very new.
I feel like as we would get back to the like docks or the gates, Onyx would turn to Smoke. Mechanic Smoke, escort complete. New directive.
Accompany to the wreckage and protect.
And give Shren a back rub.
They don't.
Wait,
Come on, Shren.
wait, Shren. I want you to make a deception check with disadvantage.
Disadvantage, yes. So the worst I got was a 7, but I have a pretty good deception.
I don't think you want an Onyx back rub.
13. That's true,
13?
right? 13, yeah.
With a 13, I'll let you decide, Onyx. Do you feel like this was convincing enough that you... Because here's the tricky thing. Is, Onyx, you're deceiving two people by doing this whole directive thing. And Shren is trying to deceive what he thinks is a sort of unthinking machine. So do you think the 13 is a convincing enough lie that you feel like you have to follow it because you're like trying to do this robot thing? Yeah. We're playing 5D chess here.
Smoke would like actively be trying to shush Shren up because like knowing that he's just taking the piss. Like Smoke would be like, "Come on, Shren."
What? I wanted a back rub. Gosh,
A
all right,
new-
fine.
New escort and massage.
Do you start going towards?
No,
Shren?
no. It's more of a question,
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, okay.
like
Escort
asking for confirmation.
Escort first. Patrol and protection. Second, massage fifth.
All right, top 10. Top 10.
And I like brush, like I know that Onyx is so patinaed and stuff like that, and I mean they're my friend, and I'm really trying hard to make sure that this is like on the level, and I'm just like I do a once over, but I'm just like checking them out, make sure they're doing okay.
Amazing.
Before
Yeah,
the
I think
directive
you would
go.
like it would be subtle, but like in the very rigid sort of structure of standing there, like letting you inspect. I think there would be a slight head tilt to look at you, like instead of just like looking straight on, it would just be like just a little bit down, just to like as
There would
sort
just
of
be
a recognition.
and there would I feel like as Smoke is like looking around, Air's hands would linger a second longer than they normally would if she was just fixing up another bot. Just as a sign of like, I got you, pal.
Amazing. So as you step out of the gate,
I'm just gonna say that.
Oh yeah, please, Berg.
While we were walking, I didn't pick up on all this stuff at the end because Berg would have, at the beginning of their walk, signaled to her crew and everybody, so that by the time they get to the gates, there are like packs waiting for them.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
like she would have had it like
Berg
arranged
so
while they were walking.
Yeah,
That when they get there, she's
So
just
organized.
like picking bags from the.
You see an old gentleman, dressed immaculately. You know that this is the assistant to the dockmaster. You see Gerald as you approach. He goes, "Madam Burgundy, it is my pleasure to present with you your accoutrement for the impending journey. May favor ever be on your side, and may you be looked after."
In my absence, of course, make sure that everything flies smooth. Luke's in port, so give everyone a heads up.
Of course.
You can't trust Luke as far as you can throw him. I'll tell you that right now.
And I have thrown him so far.
I know.
Well, Splendus's favor go with all of you.
And with you.
He bows and then kind of moves back. And yeah, you have
curtsies just
all
because
of-
she can.
he kind of looks at you and he gives it like a quite grandfatherly chuckle as he's like dealt with you before. Like you've had interactions with him and
Absolutely.
it's always like quite amiable. He's got a real avuncular nature, like super like everyone's pal, but like old man proper style. And as you step forth out of the gate, preparing to head out into the forest, that's where we're going to take our break.
Oh, buddy.
Oh boy.
We're going to take a little break. Don't go
love
anywhere. It's just a break.
I love these characters so much. I am obsessed. Grab yourself a beverage, grab yourself a snack, get yourself comfy, cozy, and be back in about 10 minutes or so. Enjoy some art from our campaign 1. We'll see you
Enjoy.
soon. Bye.
Bye. Hi guys, it's me, Adam, and I'm here to talk to you about the sponsor for tonight's episode, Legendcraft. Legendcraft is a Canadian woodworking company that makes D&D and tabletop gaming tables and accessories. They are a couple of passionate crafters that create items that will instantly become a highlight of any tabletop or RPG player's game night. An absolute favourite of mine is the Mountain King board gaming table. This table is bonkers cool, looking like it is straight out of a Dwarven King's Hall. It's really unlike anything I've ever seen. We feel really good about endorsing this Canadian business that brings so much passion into something we care so deeply about. So head over to their Instagram at legendcraft.ca to have a look at what they're making and let them know that Blackwater sent you. And if any of you fall in love with any of their amazing products, you can go to their website and use the promo code Blackwater for 5% off. It supports a Canadian business and also helps support our stream in this crazy D&D game we love. Thanks, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Are back. Adam,
We are back.
take it
Welcome back. We find ourselves a little later outside amongst the forest. And the sun is setting. You've walked for a while, but nothing of note has really happened. This area is kept fairly well patrolled. The biggest danger out here is pitchwings, which are like small draconic creatures that shoot a tar-like substance. They spit it out, and it's highly flammable and very sticky.
It is canon, and I will have this confirmed by Faye when she arrives next week, that Smoke loves pitchwings. Absolutely adores them and thinks the substance is so cool and loves
pitchwings
their...
are really pretty too, because like that oil rainbow that you get when light hits oil, that's their coloration. So when they fly past the sun, they like glisten beautifully. So they're really pretty, and your like main interactions with pitchwings is hearing like a high-pitched whistle, a gunshot, and then a screech and a thump, as any approaching pitchwings are shot down on sight, often by the sentries. It's one of Sentry 8's primary jobs. So you kind of push out into the forest as the sun kind of sets down behind the trees. And you have on your path found bits of debris and detritus smoldering here or there. And you find an odd clearing. And it's odd because it's odd to one person immediately. Onyx, you spend a lot of time out here secretly amongst the trees, and you've ranged fairly far. On days where you are inert, you sneak out. You know that you have the whole day to yourself. You spend that day out amongst nature. And this clearing doesn't exist. Shouldn't exist. Hasn't existed until now. And who would be on point? Who would be the first?
I guess it's between myself and Onyx. One of us has the lead and one of us has the back.
Yeah, I'd probably be walking probably in stride with you almost, as like with my gun out.
Yeah, kind of guard style. Mm-hmm. So I will say Berg and Onyx, it kind of happens simultaneously. As you step forward and immediately sink into about ankle deep mud. This whole clearing, patchy and strange, you realize is incredibly muddy, but there hasn't been rain for a few days, like at least a week. And Onyx, your passive perception is quite high, correct?
Let me check that for you. I believe it is.
Love these boots.
It's on the one page I'm on. 15.
15. Yeah, you see some of the thing with clearings is they tend to be clear. They tend to be a ring of trees and nothing in the center. But here there is this big patch of mud, and then kind of spread through, interspersed amongst the clearing are weird trees. You see one which is almost like a willow tree that burnt down, but again, there's not been any forest fires lately. You see a couple of trees near each other that are wound together, almost petrified, gray and crumbling. This clearing is odd and unfortunately not a suitable location for a camp, as the mud would be inimitable to.
I think you
would... not inimitable, that's unable to be imitated.
You would see
the word that means like, not able to be lived on.
Uninhabitable?
Inhospitable?
No,
both of those.
Those work well, but there's a word that's in my brain that I can't think of.
I was going to have a joke, and then my brain went, you don't know any more words.
Am I about to try to guess a word he doesn't remember?
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
Let's invent new words and see what
just invent new ones. Yeah.
I think you would see Onyx go from, like, someone, like, rigid again, like, walking next to Berg, and then, like, sinking in the mud, and, like, that rigidness sort of, like, leaves for a bit, and, like, is almost like an like sort of like a annoyed posture, just like hunched over, like to stand back up, like
unnatural danger. Stand back.
And I'm going to walk forward further into the field.
So you kind of slodge through.
I'm gonna have my rifle out, and I'm going to be scoped in on. What stands out? You described a willow tree that looked kind of strange.
Yeah, there's like the remains of a willow tree that is very charred and burnt.
Okay, as I'm like walking up to, I'm gonna be like, sort of, just sort of like checking, just like in scope, out of scope, in scope, out of scope. Like just like I want to get like larger, or I want to get like a more magnified look, but also still kind of keep a little bit of surrounding.
So through the scope, you look through, again, mechanically, while you're looking through the scope, you know this, but I'm going to explain it to the table. While you're looking through the scope, you get a +5 to your perception check and a -10 to your passive perception check to reflect the fact that you've got a narrowed vision. So yeah, you kind of scope through and looking at this tree. It looks burnt. It looks like a tree that has survived. It looks like a tree after a forest fire, charred and charcoaled.
Okay, can I walk up to it and then? I'm gonna try to break a piece off.
It breaks away as charcoal easily. It's quite warm to the touch.
Okay, I can't smell. Okay, then I'm going to I guess I'm just gonna make a more, I guess, perception checks as I check the surroundings. I'm sort of looking for like a source. Like is there burnt around the tree? Is the tree burnt itself? Like does it look like there is somehow an accelerant or something?
Make an investigation check.
Can I assist?
Absolutely. Make it with advantage.
I would go and to assist, I would go up to
you kind
of yeah, and just kind of trudge my way through. Smoke doesn't care. She's covered in oil literally all the time.
It's
and
not.
everything can be replaced and
mud is just the oil of the forest.
Absolutely. I'd lean over.
Do you
Sentry 8, do you need assistance?
Yes. Do you smell anything?
I know what accelerants and burn things smell like.
You smell the lingering smell of wood smoke. No different to like a campfire that's been out for a day.
And it's like, it's still hot, you said?
Warm.
It smells like that it's burned a little while ago, but I don't really, there's nothing around here that suggests that there was, maybe lightning?
Maybe.
But there wasn't any storm. There wasn't any storms recently, was there?
Not that you can recall.
I was out here earlier today. this didn't exist?
A potential explanation.
I rolled an 18, by the way.
Okay, with that investigation check, you kind of look around. Nothing seems to have started this fire
Like it's not
as
unnatural,
like
but it's
unnaturally.
weirdly not natural as well.
The thing that you think of is Lethwis, which is a liquid fuel used to maintain the like larger classes of ships. And potentially this ship that went down was carrying it as cargo, and it could have ignited the tree because the ship exploded. Like maybe the ship was on fire and like a spark or like a large ember landed in the tree and ignited the tree.
Maybe caused by the crash, but that would not explain the mud.
Yeah, it's the fire is often more predictable than people give it credit for. So, whatever you need, Sentry 8, let me know. I'll keep an eye out, especially if there's been fuel or accelerants involved. It's kind of my alley.
I would go check the. I would just go check the far perimeter, opposite of where we came in.
Okay. I'll let that 18 ride. You kind of walk around the perimeter. There doesn't seem to be anything dangerous nearby. You do find a couple more isolated burnt trees, and a couple more thin shoots that seem hardened and grey.
I don't think a pitchwing could do this, do I?
Make a nature check.
And I guess while they're doing that, does this look like this is in a drop pattern? Like it would be like if something
Make an investigation check, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Only a 14.
14. You like
I've seen him spit on stuff, but
maybe
I don't know.
if there was like a residue from the spit on these specific trees and then a spark hit them, it ignited them. But like that residue when it burns leaves quite an acrid smell. It's quite specific. And
Smoke would have told me.
Smoke specifically described like just wood smoke, and it's like if you burn pitchwing tar inside of a building, that building is unusable for like a day. Like it is really pungent. Smoke, what was the investigation?
17.
Okay, with a 17, not really. It seems almost too random to have been something just randomly falling, as strange as that is. There's no like understandable pattern to it.
Does it look like somebody's trying to make it look like? Does it look purposefully messed up? If that's my you know what I mean?
With the 17, you don't sense any human hand or
humanoid hand.
Humanoid hand involved in this. Just maybe spontaneous combustion at the strangest. Do you proceed out of the clearing?
I would follow I would follow Onyx and Berg.
Yeah, you would hear over the. I suppose we have a link, sort of a comm. Yeah. You would all basically hear.
Causation not found. Danger unsure. Recommendation. Keep moving.
On our way out of the clearing, I heard danger. I cast Mage Armor on myself, and I will prestidigitation clean my boots as I leave the
Amazing.
mud. And I will look Shren in the eyes, down to him because I'm much taller. And I'll be like, "You've crash landed a lot. Could this look like that, or is this unconnected or connected but not the crash?"
Well, from what we've said, it doesn't match the quiet criteria, something like that. Usually a lot more cargo they throw out the windows. We see scattered goods around. While you was all looking around, I tinkered these up for you. And I just like thatched together like a bunch of palm leaves for those little like snowshoes so that Bird can walk through the mud without getting mud on their boot. Yeah, I think they should.
Do they look nice though? Like,
oh yeah, I'm a dope tinkerer.
Amazing.
Are they aesthetic? Yes, of
So-
course they are.
Shren, bro.
As you kind of, there are patches of dry ground in this clearing, but none big enough to suitably cut camp on. And as the party proceeds out of the clearing, we as the audience see something that the party does not.
Come on.
It's impossible for them to have seen it, because as we crane up away from the party to get a bird's eye view, we see the mud forms a pattern like roots spreading through the clearing. We come back to the party as you proceed through.
Oh,
And
weird.
Onyx,
I checked for roots. Some
Onyx, you know of a nearby clearing. In fact, you were there earlier today. Nope, you would be further away. You were there like a week ago, and you know it's a good camping spot. It's relatively covered and safe, and you make your way there, and you camp for the night. Would you all like to sleep, or would... I know Onyx doesn't need to sleep.
Shren snores quite loudly.
Okay.
I'll take a watch. I would be happy to take a watch with anybody.
I would
I
likely.
don't sign up for watch.
Onyx would likely be watching all night. I only, like as a Warforged, I only need to spend 6 hours just sitting there, but fully conscious and awake.
Yeah.
Well, why don't I take a? I'll be the first, the only person awake. The sentry's here, so it should be fine. But I'll take the first watch.
I need 10 hours or I'm dead to the world, So I'll just post up over here.
So good. Someone who's just
10
like,
hours.
no watches for
Oh
me.
gosh, yeah.
Love that. And Burke?
Before bed, I will, in one notebook I got 2 books, one attached to each hip, makes my hips
Love
extra
that.
good. And on my one little hip, I'm just gonna.
Are they in like little holsters?
Yeah, they have little.
Yeah,
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 of
yeah.
course they do,
Amazing.
and they match my
Hell yeah.
uniform. Until she unbuckle
So
one
good.
side and pull the one book out, and just take all the notes from the day that she needs to before she goes to sleep.
Little hidden shoe book.
And then everybody else has weapons. She's just got books everywhere. And she'll pull the other book out, which is her tome, and just peruse any information that she needs to. And what she's really doing is spending a little bit of time with the 2 that are her crew, just keeping an eye on them. Smoke and Onyx seem very close, so I'm just gonna quick insight check before bed.
Of course, yeah.
What?
Roll insight check. Smoke and Onyx, please make deception checks, please. And you cannot help each other because you're both making these checks.
Natural
Man.
1. Fuck.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's gonna say
Just-
I have a 12.
I just need to not roll a 1. What is
On
it?
my
It's
part.
deception?
Mm-hmm.
Deception. This is a 7 for an 8.
Program to lie, buddy.
No.
What is your bonus on the natural one?
4.
So 5. I think you're kind of drowsy. It's been a long day. You had to deal with Lucky Luke or Luke Lucky and Ruby in a single day. Like it's tiring.
And Shren and Smoke.
Yeah, 100%. And so as you're kind of tracing your finger through the book, you kind of flip a page and you're not really paying attention because you're watching your 2 teammates and you're kind of tracing the lines. And you kind of do this for 10 minutes, not really realizing as you kind of do something that you've done so often that it's kind of muscle memory. And all of a sudden from your backpack, you hear this like, and your backpack starts shaking.
I'll pull out whatever from my backpack is making the noise.
You open your backpack and a little orb with a little eye shoots out of your bag and flies over to you, bumps into your head.
Odie, god damn it. Okay, I'll just spend a little time tinkering, programming, but I don't really know what I'm doing with it other than everything in the manual because I've read
Yeah,
that.
100%. Yeah, you read the manual through very
That's
well.
so cute. Also,
Fine
Mad
print.
Bird streams. Thank you so much.
Hello,
for the raid.
Caca.
Thank you.
And I actually get kind of worried about having my little observation drone around with these two artificers.
Yeah, you both. Well, no, Shren's out. I'm just gonna make the call that Shren's like
10 hours.
Smoke, you see that Berg is holding a little observation drone.
What you
They're
got
actually
there,
like
Berg?
they're fairly expensive. Like they're hard to come by.
Yeah, Smokes maybe put. I mean, Smoke makes a decent chunk of change, but not that much money. So, Smoke would be what you got there?
An observation drone.
That's exciting.
I'll just sort of be like, they're quite effective.
Can I see? Can I see?
You watch as the like iris of the eye kind of closes in and out.
If
creating
Onyx
a
could
wall-y
side
kind of
eye
effect.
something, Onyx is side eyeing that damn thing.
Can I see? Please. I'll be good.
Do you-
I promise.
You've made so many promises, Smoke.
This one is a new one. So
Only
That's pretty
touching, no tinkering. I don't believe you. And I'll
As
still
you-
drop it in her hand.
As you release Odie, it flies forward past her hand and bumps into her face.
Oh, you're so sweet. Come here. And I like put my hands out just to cup and
And I know he's kind of been on the fritz for a bit, right?
Make an insight check on
Oh, no.
Odie.
Roll so
I'm like
low.
absolutely admiring this beautiful piece of machinery and just like what a sweet cinnamon roll baby he is.
I'm gonna make. I made it. It's fine. I was gonna make a Onyx was gonna make a comment, but saved.
Save for later. File it away for later.
A big old 9 this time. Am I
Okay.
so good?
You've taken Odie in to a number of like by the book mechanics, and it's like an old vacuum cleaner or a car where there's nothing mechanically wrong with Odie. It just has a bit of a personality, and never has that kind of stood out to you before more than watching it kind of. The only description is happily rotate in Smoke's hand with its iris kind of like the camera lens kind of focusing and unfocusing, creating this almost sense of it like looking in and peering at Smoke. It really personifies this. And for the first time in your brain, you kind of don't refer to Odie as Odie with a tinge of guilt. Because I feel like every time you've thought of Odie as Odie, you've been like, it's foolishness. I should like, it's so silly that I refer to him as Odie, silly that I refer to him as like a him. Like it's just a observation drone. And this is the first time that you've watched Odie and you've gone, no, it's fine.
Beautiful. Does it have a name? Do you call it anything?
Observation drone 13, but I call him
Come on,
Odie.
Berg.
You
Come
know I
on.
do. And he's such a little nugget. He's kind of an idiot, though. I don't know. I think the programming needs some adjustment.
Did you want me to
Odie-
take a look?
Odie lifts up out of your hand, Smoke, bumps into your face one more time, and then starts flying back towards Berg.
Oh, what a sweetheart. Well, if you want me to take a look at the programming, I'm good with software and hardware. So you let me know. Okay?
I will.
I'll be good. I promise. Nothing in there that you don't want in there.
I'll kind of like look at him as I put Odie away for now. A little nervous. But I will turn back to Smoke on my way to bed as I head to my tent. And I'll just... Maybe we can, take a look at it together.
That sounds great. Maybe I'll teach you a thing or two.
I'd like that.
Okay.
Fantastic.
And-
I can
So-
help you, keep your books straight, because, girl, shit.
Berg,
Let's go
it's
to
so
bed.
much more fun when they're not. Have a good night.
The it zips up as you sit out with Onyx out keeping watch.
Do you want us to roll our perception checks first?
Yeah, roll perception checks for the evening.
14.
That's a natural 14 plus.
I think
That's a 17.
As like the tent would zip up in like a couple minutes after, sort of like waiting for snoring or just hearing Shren snoring more, you would see the Onyx become like the rigid would leave, sort of like in a like sitting there sort of on a log, would now like bend forward, sort of pull out their rifle and just start inspecting it and cleaning, but much more of a like a tired slump forward and not just like I am a sentry.
Amazing.
That's a big day for you, huh? Having to pretend all day.
It's getting harder. I don't know how much longer I can do this.
You know, Berg is a bit of a hard ass, but I think she'd understand. It might be safe to have her know. You know?
It might be. She called.
Just because... No, go ahead.
She called that thing by a name.
Yeah.
A good sign, maybe.
Because we don't know what's out here, right? And like, there might come a time where keeping up the mask of Century 8 is just not helpful. You know? It's not going to fix it. It's not going to get the job done. And if push comes to shove, I want Onyx, not Sentry. I could bring any old Sentry if I wanted a Sentry, but I don't want that.
If there's ever danger, you'll get Onyx.
I know.
Hmm.
I'm really grateful that you told me.
From what I've observed, it's important to have friends.
And we are friends.
I'm very happy to call you one.
Yeah. And who else is going to fix you up, right? Goodness.
Not the other sentries.
No, certainly not. I know you don't interact with her much, but I haven't told Ember. So, if you want to, you can. She'll be pissed that I didn't tell her, but I don't tell her everything. So, if you want to tell her, you can, and she'd have your back too. She's one of the best people I know. She's always been there for me.
I believe she poses no threat to me.
She's especially good when people fuck up. And I fuck up a lot, so yeah, she's always really good at that kind of stuff.
I will tell her. But
No rush though. In your time.
Something tells me it won't be news.
Probably not.
So your watches continue without incident. Nothing attacks the camp. Everyone can mark off a long rest. For those of you with charged items, I realize I didn't tell you how they recharge. They gain a D6 at the end of a long rest. So you can, if you've used any of your charges from your items, you can roll a D6 to see how many charges.
A hot one.
Ooh, big one.
Big one.
Big one.
Save those rolls for later.
Yeah.
So the rest of the day passes relatively, normally. Right up until you reach the edge of the wreckage. The sight that greets you is grim. Wood, metal, and people lay strewn amongst the burning wreckage. The flames have spread to the trees and underbrush, and the heat is almost unbearable. The smoke chokes you as you get close, and your eyes sting and water at its burning touch. It's strange. Ships shouldn't erupt. Like, Kestrel-class ships shouldn't explode when crashing, unless they're carrying stores of Lethwis, the fuel. But Berg, you know that this ship has nothing in its hold. Nothing beyond what you had been set to retrieve. Among the flaming debris, you see a few things. You see 3 very distinct patches of mud, around which lay the bodies of the crew. 4 bodies lie before you. As you approach the bodies, you find the remains of 2 humans that look like siblings, a young male dwarf, and an elf that bears the badge of a ship's quartermaster.
So from my brain, we've got Quartermaster Talea Shren.
That is correct.
And we have Ruder Breakbeard. Or a male
It's
dwarf.
probably Ashbrow.
Is a male
Ashbrow.
dwarf.
Ashbrow, and then both the Breck siblings.
That is correct.
Damn.
Onyx, can you confirm if anyone's left alive?
New directive.
You wouldn't know. Their name is Onyx, Century 8.
Oh,
but
right. Century
yeah.
8.
Onyx points a gun at you. How do you know?
What do you know?
Oh, cool,
Yeah.
bro.
Century
Century
8.
9, whatever you want.
Onyx, make a survival check for me.
Make an if they survive check.
Yes and no. There's more to this roll.
22.
I'm also assuming that closer to the bodies, I don't want anyone to approach too close. So I'm going to ask all of the organics to stay back.
For sure.
Let's all wait. Wait for the machine to confirm.
22.
On by me.
You find no signs of life in these. And importantly, you find drag marks. Like someone moving something heavy, kind of digging into the ground. Moving out towards the forest.
Do I see the bodies were dragged from the wreckage as well? Or were they
No,
strewn
these bodies
about
look
on impact?
These bodies look flung.
No vitals. Bodies.
Very.
Dead on impact.
The Breck siblings look more burnt than the others. And you can make a medicine check if you want.
I would
Century in
like
particular. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, medicine is a 12.
It's hard to tell, but the burn pattern is different on the Breck siblings.
If Onyx pointed out burn patterns, Smoke knows burn patterns.
Sure, make it a medicine check with advantage.
Century 8. Assistance required.
I'm happy to help Sentry, as I said before. 17 plus... That was good. 17 and a natural 1 plus 3. That's a flirty, smoky 20.
Love that. Smoke, you kneel down by the 2 human bodies. And the dwarf and the elf both look burnt. Part of the nature of being in such a fire. The siblings don't look like they've been burnt from without. You see scorch marks with almost like a exit pattern by their nostrils, burn marks out their eyes, smoldering sockets, their ears burnt to a crisp, around their mouth, scorch marks. You've seen scorch marks like this. It's when someone gets their hand too close to a welding wand. It's that like flash burn pattern as if something has erupted from these orifices.
So I'm no doctor, but this fire didn't come from the outside. It came from the inside of them.
As you say this, Smoke, the fire came from inside the trees as well. It was hard to tell because trees burn different to skin. Mm-hmm. But the pattern was wrong, and you couldn't put your finger on it.
Which makes sense as to why there was such disparate pockets that burned from the inside. I would share that with everyone and link it back to the clearing. This isn't common. This is a pattern. There's something very wrong that's happening here. The fire here is linked to where we were yesterday.
There are drag marks. Large cargo leaving.
Berg, what was this ship holding? She said something about an item. Why are we here?
I looked to Smoke, and then I will turn away from her with the intention to answer, but again to the sentry. Sentry, see if you can find any computers. See if you can find anything with information for us. And then, disregarding the sentry as not important to the conversation, she'll turn back to Smoke and Shren. I'm so sorry.
Onyx will wander into the wreckage.
Onyx, you kind of step through, again, sinking into about ankle deep. Oh, a little less deep. Mid-shoe deep mud. These 3 little patches.
My eyes are completely on Onyx as they're walking away. Like, my eyes do not leave my friend.
I've got an idea. So this being a smuggler ship, would there be any signs, like smuggler trade secrets, any cargo boxes that look, or anything around that, like, maybe there's a secret storage pocket in, or you know what I mean? Like looking for the
Make
tools to trade
an investigation check. Okay. I would say if you were doing this on a pristine ship, you'd have advantage.
Oh,
if someone else was doing this on a crash ship, they'd have disadvantage. You have a flat roll because, yeah.
So I got rolled 17 plus 4 is 21.
21.
Smugglers, no smugglers.
The first thing that stands out to you is the immediate lack of smuggled goods. You find all the evidence, the false bottoms, like you kick out some crates. They're carrying nothing. The ship was empty. And you do it adroitly enough that you avoid getting burnt. You manage to stay away from the hotter parts of the fire. But it's weird that this smuggling ship had nothing on it. Nothing. Not even a little side cache of hidden gold for emergencies. Every smuggling crew has a hidden cache of gold. And you looked, you would have found it. It's just not here.
Something's up here. This crew is known for being one of the best, and yet sure doesn't seem like they had anything with them. Don't you find that a bit odd?
You know this crew, Shren?
I know of them.
Oh.
Let's just say they're known to be the best. One of. I mean, hell, just a chance to meet Claw alone got me here with you lot.
What's the deal, Berg?
There's a shipment coming to port today. It had something extremely important on it and vital and of interest to the Iron Will. And whatever this is, it's been taken. Or this is a part of a complex plan all along, but I don't really think that makes sense. And Shren, I don't know what you think it would take to hire a crew like this with this sort of result.
Yeah, they're one of the best. I wouldn't
and they've
even know
gone
how to hire
down. So who does that? Who takes out the best, right?
Looks like that's what we're trying to find out.
I don't know. I can't share more about about it, but it's obviously dangerous, so we have to all be very careful.
Well, then Sentry 8 shouldn't be in there alone, and I start moving towards Onyx. I just go towards where Sentry.
Onyx, were you heading into the wreckage, or were you following the drag marks?
No, I would have. I was told to search for computers. I would have gone into the ship looking for a black box.
You were unable
they
to
call them
find
in your world, Adam. Sorry.
Yeah, there isn't really any black boxes. You would know that there's like secure. Essentially, it's like a sending stone. Essentially, where if something bad happens, you have like the day-to-day recordings where like the quartermaster or the captain will like captain's log. But then if something bad happens, often they'll make a mayday call through the sending stone, and then before crashing, place the sending stone somewhere secure. Torrance, thank you for the raid. Hello.
Thank you for the raid, Torrance.
Hi,
Welcome on in, friends. Happy to have you.
Onyx, you move through the wreckage basically because you've been told to, but you watched Shren. There was nothing else to find. Shren, with the skill of a man who has done this before, found every nook and every cranny, and there was nothing.
It was a bit of a, can you check the back? So I just
more or less, yeah. Yeah, so you kind of just like wander aimlessly, like looking in crates and stuff, but there's nothing here beyond debris and flame and death.
As I'm entering, I want to touch like where I'm assuming I'm entering in like through the side of the ship? Like, is it how?
There isn't a ship left.
Okay.
This is like if someone took a model wooden paddle pop ship and popsicle stick ship, sorry, paddle pop's an Australian thing, and like tossed it against a wall. You can see the parts, but it doesn't resemble a ship anymore.
Okay. I want to
which is
like
also
look
strange.
For like, as I noticed the burning on the bodies from before.
Yeah.
I want to essentially look for pieces that have not burning from the impact, but a burning like similar to the bodies.
Make an intelligence check for me with advantage.
Oof, I might not need it. 19 and an 18, and it's just a straight intelligence?
Yeah.
That's a 21.
Well done.
None of this flame is from the impact.
Okay. I want to see is like... I want to look at the pieces of the ship.
You see the pieces of the ship closest to the siblings are the most burnt.
Is the metal bent outward or inward?
A lot of the metal, like barring, is bent outward. A lot of it's also bent inward because of impact.
Yeah, I figured.
But there are like melting patterns that suggest an inward conflagration.
I'm assuming Smoke would be like walking towards. I would meet you halfway. Yeah. They're the origin.
Twins? The siblings?
None of these burns are from the crash. It's from them. The inside of this ship exploded.
How would that much power be housed inside two people?
I don't know. But they went off like bombs.
Yeah. No kidding. Are you okay?
I will be.
Okay.
Shren, while this is happening, is there anything you would like to be doing?
Yeah, just I'm honestly just looking around, trying to piece together the nature of the burning itself. Again, that's kind of like his style as well. Like
you kind of piece together a similar thing. As Onyx is saying it out, it kind of makes sense to you. And Berg, you are standing where you sent Sentry away, and you're standing near the drag marks in the dirt.
I'd like to investigate if I can as far away from them as I can get, but still keeping my crew in sight. And I'm looking for if the drag marks, if there's any footsteps, or if it's just the evidence of an object through the mud.
You see drag marks, like 2 furrows in the ground, and footsteps, quite heavy footsteps beside them. Then you follow it, and you see a figure kind of standing with their back to you, and you can't quite see them, and you look back and you can't quite see your crew anymore. Would you like to proceed forward, or would you like to go back to your crew?
They have not noticed me.
They don't seem to have noticed you, though.
I will go back to the crew
Okay, so you kind of move back.
as quietly as possible.
Darling
Also,
Creepshow, thank you so much for the raid.
hello,
Hello!
Hi, creeps.
Let's
Welcome
get
on in,
weird.
Hi,
friends.
Creeps.
Hello.
It's creepy and weird right now, so it's a good time to raid.
So lovely to
Um,
have you, my friend. Thank you.
While
Good.
I'm on my way back, I want to send a message to Smoke.
Okay.
As quickly as I can.
Absolutely.
And it's just gonna be get everyone together.
Yeah, you get this message, Smoke.
You got it, Burke. And I essentially just grab Onyx by the collar, and I go outside and I grab Shren, and I go to where Berg was, and I have messaged as well, so I'll message Berg back. Where are you? We can come meet you.
You see Berg at the edge of the forest by the furrows in the ground.
Ooh, I start walking towards her with my friends in tow.
Yeah. Onyx
Would you
has
like
their
to
rifle out. I'm gonna scope.
Would everyone like to sneak?
Sure would.
Roll a stealth check.
When given the option.
What's
What's up?
So
Can
do
I
I
not
know that
shit
this
at
was
it?
like? Do I know that this was? We need to get there. Like, would you
Yeah,
have
I
told us to do sneaky? Like, would you have directed
been
me
like-
to do sneaky?
You see Berg with her finger up against her mouth.
Okay, then if that is the case, then I'm going to cast Pass Without a Trace. You're going to see Onyx lean down to the
yeah.
ground. The tips of their fingers are going to open, and a black smoke is going to come out of it, and it's going to help us.
Very cool.
So you can all put a plus 10 to your stealth checks.
Amazing. Smoke, what's your stealth?
26.
Berg, what's your stealth?
24.
Shren, what's your stealth?
31.
Hey, Onyx, what's your stealth?
31.
Hey.
Oh, buddies.
You all move silently through the forest, and you approach, and you see the figure is standing at the end of the furrows, and they don't move. And you approach a little further, and they don't move. And Onyx, you're the first to notice.
I'm
They're
gonna,
not-
I'm gonna scope in.
Through the scope, you see that they're not breathing. They're not moving at all. No natural sway of just standing still. And as you approach, you see a pristine statue carved in the likeness of a dwarven woman, arms outstretched towards the looming forest beyond, and the furrows end at the statue's feet.
Decoy.
Trap.
Ambush.
Maybe.
Wait.
And I'm going to stealth my way up there, but I'm going to walk up to it.
Okay. You walk right up to it. It's just a statue.
What's the expression on the face, Sentry? Can you tell expressions?
Yeah, what what do I see, Adam?
Terror.
Frightened.
Same.
Adam, maybe you can clarify this for me before. Is this statue made of stone?
Yes.
Does it smell like anything? Does it smell like anything else was there any like discernible smell that's kind of come off, like especially from the wood, or like the people that were like also burned from the inside out, or near the ship, or near this person? Is there anything linking this person to the manifest? The manifest, is this person someone who was on the manifest?
I want to check the ground.
You see footsteps leading away in the direction that the arms outstretched to.
Are there drag marks up until
yeah,
this
looking at the
point?
manifest, you found a male dwarf, a male and female pair of siblings, an elf quartermaster. On the manifest, Rhonda Breakbeard, female dwarf.
We're running out of names on our list.
We're still looking for the captain, right? Or the general? Whoever it is.
Shren, what kind of captain leaves their crew behind like this?
A fucking smart one.
I mean, if what we're figuring out is true, there is something very wrong that happened on this ship moments before it landed. And this person was trying, maybe was alive when they crashed and was trying to run and couldn't.
Let's not make any assumptions yet.
It's just patterns.
Right? We don't know if they were carrying it or escaping with it or fleeing from it. There's a lot of options. So, open minds, open eyes.
You know, Berg, I'm the kind of person who likes to know all the variables before I go in and start tinkering around and putting my fingers in things. So what are we looking for? What are we trying to find? You're the only one here who knows, and if this is what's happened to the crew, I'm sorry. But I want to save my ass and know what I'm looking out for.
Sometimes we don't get to know everything. That's just the way it works.
Do you know and you're just not telling us, or do you not know either?
They've kept things from me, too.
Yeah, but you throw around the iron will and then just keep on talking. I mean, that's a big deal.
I don't even know if it's for them.
I hear something. There's words. There's words being spoken. It's in the Sirens game right now. I
Yeah,
hear
it's
it.
been playing.
Smoke will just like immediately just start looking around at to try and discern the source of the sound.
Grab one.
Coming from the direction of the footsteps.
We should go and look at it, or we should send
Sentry.
New directive.
I'm not sending the sentry in alone.
New directive not
gosh.
given.
All right.
Is that do we recognize the words, Adam, or the language?
Everyone make perception checks.
23.
Oh, yeah. Also 23.
Dude,
That's gonna be
Plus
a-
five.
Best
You're
friends,
like
bro. Let's go get
18.
ice cream.
Let's go.
ice cream. That's gonna be a flirty 20 for me.
Okay.
9.
Berg, you're like, I don't hear anything. And I know one person definitely does, but Shren and Onyx, do you speak primordial?
Yes. Yes. I actually do speak primordial.
Holy
Like, no
shit.
joke.
I have to
We
check.
talked about
Probably
this.
not.
Zero.
You can't quite make out what's being said, but you recognize primordial.
I don't speak primordial.
Isn't it always the damn primordials?
Hey,
I mean,
You look at an
oh,
Genasi.
You're right. You're right. I meant no offense, love, but well, iron
I
will.
mean, they are pretty high and mighty up here, you know, like they've all got some smoke, shoved up there, whatever. You know what I mean? Like
You-
everybody is.
Onyx,
You're
you
right.
get the sense that the voice is fading. Not from distance. It's not getting further away, but it's fading.
New directive. Suggestion. Scout.
Find the voice, right? I'm not trying to give the orders, but
That seems fair. I think we should go together. I don't think we should go alone. We should go together.
Let's go. I have mage armor active again. Just would have done that a while ago. Let's go.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, I would go in the direction of the footsteps.
You step out into another clearing. And you see a figure lying on the ground. And at first, your first like assumption is an air genasi, but quite small. And then you see like features that are quite halfling. An androgynous halfling lies on the ground before you, clasping an item that is equally divided: red, white, blue, brown, and sorry, green. Green is the last one. Red, white, blue, green. And they're clasping this item. And the reason why you think air genasi at first is drifting off of them are wisps of not quite smoke, cloud maybe. Their skin lifting off away from them, their hair almost as if caught in a breeze. Always Douglas Ester Mortre Kima Tarna Flas Gura Nava Wamira.
I rush over. If he's dying,
as you approach,
I hold smoke back and
as
I
you
stand in front of her.
approach, you
What's
feel
he
this
saying?
like gut sense of like danger.
Onyx would scope in and immediately use 3 charges.
What's he saying?
What is he saying
You-
in Primordial?
Here in Primordial. Berg, do you speak Primordial? Smoke and Shren, you hear. The tide takes what the land provides. The land is nourished by the renewing flame. The flame is stoked by the whipping winds. The winds grow as they fly with the tides. All are one. The tide takes what the land provides. And it continues.
He's just
Have I
repeating
ever
himself.
heard that saying before? I'm a Genasi. I feel like
No.
Well, I don't think we
You-
came all this way for nothing. Pull my
Each of
gun
you
out.
stepping forward get that gut sense of like primal animal like fear of like do not go closer. The fear of like looking over the edge of it's like vertigo almost. You get dizzy from it. And Onyx, as you spend 3 charges, that allows you to do what again? Hunter's Mark?
No, I gain limited true sight. This cannot
Yes.
reveal shapeshifters, but I can see through illusory, magical disguised creatures, or creatures hidden by invisibility. So
There-
I'm going to be looking at the person on the ground first, but then immediately scope up and check the perimeter.
The person on the ground, as you kind of activate this magical scope, it's strange. People give off heat. This person is, but it's dissipating upward. And as you look through the scope, through the clearing, this clearing that you've never seen before, you see them. The last vestiges of trees that once stood here, dissipating, turned to air, floating upwards. As this halfling, half of their face lifts away, turn to air.
I'm going to yell, "Smoke, leave!" And I'm going to rack around.
I'm not leaving. My gun is out as well. I'm at Onyx's side. I'm not leaving.
Whistle for a fidget. Just comes and lands on my shoulder. Gun out.
We need to get out.
Allah.
They're going to explode.
And you watch as dispersal. And they're gone. Just air.
What about the thing they were holding?
And the object drops to the ground. Still resonating with that deep magic.
Let me take a look at it.
I could also take a look at it.
Wait. Both of you, the artificers. Wait.
I'm good at giving looks at things.
I'm just gonna give them a look that tells them just no.
As you say
and-
this, you watch a wire of red, bright, magmic energy whip out. I need everyone to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, buddy.
Oh, I rolled a 9, so probably not that good.
But your singing voice is
plus 3.
Dexterity
12.
saving throw?
23.
It's going to be a flirty 20.
I'm busy trying to tell them not to do it, and so I rolled a 4.
Okay. Berg, the wire whips directly at you. And you see, in this brief, condensed moment of time, how you die. In this moment right now, death. And you hit the ground hard as Sentry 8 tackles you from the side. I had rules, real fun. Had to beat a 10 to succeed. Anyone above a 20 would help one person succeed. Sentry 8 tackles you to the ground. The wire whips over your hair. You feel this solid bar of heat just miss you. You feel your hair dissolve in flame as the wire hits a tree, and the tree erupts from the inside, ignites, and then is extinguished, burnt, just like the trees you found in the clearing. And the implement on the ground kind of wobbles and whips out another tendril towards the other way, and you watch as a tree crackles and turns to stone, and another tendril, blue, whips out, hits a tree, and you watch as its roots and then its trunk and then its branches and its leaves turn to water, leaving a pattern in the ground like its roots were once there. Mud.
Shit.
You see this object rattling on the ground, whipping out elemental death. You know to be touched by this is to be undone. What would you like to do?
Cast Dispel Magic on it.
Okay. I need you to make a dispel check.
You got this.
This is an artifact level magic item, so the DC is not low.
It's a dirty 20.
Ooh.
That's a good dispel check,
so
too.
The way Dispel works is you have to hit or beat the spell level, given that this was a 10th level spell that was made to make this. A dirty 20 does in fact work. As you reach out and grab the magical energy and you pull it apart, you once more have a brief moment of condensed time as you realize your mistake. The only thing holding the element condensed in here, loosely holding is probably a better term, was the enchantment on this item. And as you undo the spell, it erupts. And the clearing is filled with energy. You are far enough away that you are blown back. And actually, everyone make dexterity saves for me.
Holy shit.
Oh, crap,
no.
baby, yeah!
Yes.
I only had one good roll
Hit
all
that
night
crit.
and I blew everything up.
And you blow it up.
It's a 17 for me.
16.
20.
23.
Hey.
That's not that big a deal or anything.
Is that good? Is 23 good?
Does that break it? Does that break it?
For those of you under a 17,
What about a 17? What about meeting a 17?
17 succeeds.
Oh, shit.
28 points of bludgeoning damage. 28
Ooh.
points of just kind of like everything damage. And those of you above take 14. As this eruption rocks you backwards, Berg, you slam into a tree and briefly lose consciousness. And as you kind of like sit up, you hear from your phone, from your sending stone. This, and you hear them for all of them. This is a public service announcement. The Iron Will have failed. Get to a ship. Return to your homes. Hold your loved ones. We are sorry. And Berg, your stone lights up. And you, being a wizard, recognize this spell. Word of recall. This stone has been enchanted to take you back to the skyport. Not to your knowledge. You didn't know this. And it lights up. And you know you have limited time to get everyone to come with you.
Let's go. Is there any final things you need here? I am so sorry.
Berg, you didn't do anything wrong that you didn't know. It's okay. We'll figure it out. What's the item doing on the ground?
It's gone.
It's gone?
It's ash. It's particles.
I just take my hand, extend my hand out to Berg, and I extend my hand out to Shren and Onyx for whoever is here. We hold hands for this. Come on.
All right, fucking. But you got a lot of explaining to do.
I want to grab hands with Sentry 8 and say, let's go, flowers.
Oh, that's so sweet.
You feel the teleportation magic take effect. And as you land at the gateway of the Golbrenay Skyport, you see something visually beautiful, existentially terrifying. Like an aurora borealis of flame, water, air, and stone, the sky shimmers unnaturally. You watch as parts of the ground start cracking. You watch as Ruby runs up to you. You're safe. I was going to call you, the Iron Wheel. They're not going to need the item after all. They failed. They died. It's too late.
Ruby, did you know what you sent us after?
I just knew it was important.
Did you know it was this dangerous?
I don't know what it was. I was just told it was important. And as you see a tear roll from her eye and take her cheek with it as she dissolves into water. And you watch a man kind of look stunned as flame gouts erupt from his eyes and nose and ears and mouth. And you hear a rumble. And looking past the shipyard, past the towers, past the heights, the storm peak, the top third, turns to water. And that's where we're going to end the session tonight.
Shut the fuck
you son of a bitch.
Make sure to not miss next episode titled The Storm.
Did you learn cliff liching from Tim Carlson, Adam Lucas?
I'm cliff liched from day one.
I cliff a little in college.
Yeah. I've been cliff liching.
Bodies. My goodness.
I got character Adam. God damn you.
Session 1, babies.
Yeah. I apologize to everyone who helped me world build and build this world that I am just blowing up now. So I did say at the start of the first world building that y'all would be mad at me for some reason, but I couldn't get into it, and this is why.
Oh my gosh. Adam, thank you so much. We are so excited. This is episode 1 of 5. What is going to happen in the next 5? I don't even know. Next week, we are going to be joined by the amazing Mendarii. Faye is joining us as Smoke's big sister, Ember. We are very, very excited to have her arrive, and whatever the flap
I was
happening.
So caught up into I didn't play the convergence sounds. It's fine. We'll save it for next week.
That's amazing. This has been such a treat. I am so stoked to be here. Thank you to Bam and Roz, our fantastic brand new welcome to the Blackwater family in campaign officially. We will be back on Wednesday with the Rage Saga. Adam in the DMC once more with a very different tonal campaign.
Gonna have to play in that one too.
Which is 3 Minotaur barbarians just trying to get a job done. We will be back on Saturday for some more world building, maybe with me because Adam's gonna blow all of his stuff up.
I do want to build this world more for maybe some other stuff. I have plans for this world, but just not this campaign.
Just not this one. And then we will be back next Monday. So if you like what you see, give us a follow here. Follow us across all of the socials. Thank you so much for the bits, Munch. Thank you, my friend. So
oh my god, thank you. I'm gonna shout out the Discord. Make sure to jump in that Discord for all the details. And if you wanted to see the crew manifest, it's in the Discord.
We will have there's a brand new channel there that will be for the Edge of All Things. You can go in there and post all the stuff. Our Discord is a fantastic, delightful, amazing place. I am gonna see who we can raid tonight. Let's see who we can raid.
I just want it to be Monday again. I don't know how Tim does this.
Yeah, right.
I know that was so fun.
Yeah, where I'm just like, I want to tell this story and be done. Like, I just want to like tell the story.
You gave us the world and you blew it up, you son of a bitch.
I blew it up.
And then you blew it all down. We're gonna go raid some folks who often raid into us, the wonderful folks over at ADH Adventures.
Dope.
Delightful good thing. They're playing their Gods of Orlia campaign tonight. So we'll go in there. One of our mods will throw up the raid message there. Blackwater wants you to be safe. We love you all. And have a fantastic rest of the week, everyone.
And try not to turn to any of the elements because it's bad for your health.
I make no
Very
promises.
bad for your health.
Bye.
All right. See everyone. Bye.